For this project, I'm using Let's Resin Fast Cure Resin. It's a 4-hour demold, 8 to 10 hour cure time. It's considered a casting resin. So this resin is a 1-to-1 ratio resin that you mix slowly in a cup for 3 minutes, like a lot of resins. You scrape the sides, you scrape the bottom to ensure thorough mixing. I took glitter and put them at 5 different cups, and then took the resin and mixed all 5 cups up. So this particular resin, being a casting resin, this is what you need for molds, because you can do this pour this up to 1 inch thick, whereas a coating or doming resin you can only put 1/8 of an inch. So I had a little bit of resin left and another bunny mold, so I just went ahead and put stripes down this bunny to make it a multicolor bunny. I actually demolded these the next day, and I've talked about molds before. So this mold is not a shiny mold, so when your resin comes out, it is not shiny. These are glittery because I have the glitter, but it is not shiny. And you can see the difference. In the multicolor rabbit mold that I did was a shiny mold, and see how shiny it came out. So in order to make it shiny, you can put resin over the top of it. And what I did was I got UV resin. This is the Let's Resin high viscosity UV resin, and you just put a couple drops on top of it, and with gloved hands you rub it in. I rubbed it into each of the bunnies. You can see how the back of it is real shiny, but you can see the difference. As soon as you start putting the UV resin on, it becomes very, very shiny. And I did this to all 5 of the bunnies and then put them under the UV light. Next, I prepared the frame. I actually had to take all these clips out before I could get the backing out. And I took the glass out and actually cleaned up the frame, and I took it out to the garage and I spray painted it white. After that was dry, I replaced the glass and I used painter's tape and put it around the perimeter of the back of the frame. I've been doing some experimenting and not using glue, but paying special attention to make sure that the tape is extra secure, especially in the corners. And the tape serves 2 purposes. It helps to hold the glass in place, and it helps to prevent resin leaks when you pour resin on the other side. Do pour resin on the other side and it cures. That is what permanently adheres the glass to the frame, the cured resin. Next, I took an oil-based Sharpie marker and drew in the eyes and the nose on each one of the bunnies. And then I took I printed up on my Cricut, "Every Bunny Welcome," and I put that on the glass. Next, it was ready for the resin. I used Let's Resin resin, this time not the fast cure, but the same deal. You mix it up for 3 minutes, scraping the sides, scraping the bottom. I had put some green glass down at the bottom. This was glass that I had picked up at Hobby Lobby over in the stained glass section. And I went up around the sides and into the corners and used my spoon to move it around, used the kitchen torch to get rid of the bubbles, and then started putting the bunnies on. And remember, I already put resin on the top to make them shiny, and really they do not need any more resin on top of them, and they will stick perfectly fine to the resin that's already on the glass. So next, I have a whole bunch of little flowers there that I had picked up at Hobby Lobby in a little package in their spring section. All their spring stuff is 40% off. I put a little caterpillar button way down in the bottom right corner there. And then I take a little bit of resin and I put it over each of the flowers to make them shiny. And then I have a couple butterflies that I put up at the top. Those I also got in the spring section at Hobby Lobby. Actually, I put 3 butterflies on there. And then I have these rhinestones that I've had these forever. I actually got them on eBay years ago, and they're iridescent, and I put one in the center of each of the flowers. And I do not want resin on top of them, because if you put resin on top of them, they will lose their iridescent qualities. So every time I do a project like this, when I'm done, I come back every 15 minutes to recheck for bubbles and retorch to check for sediment and get it out with a toothpick, to check for glass placement or placement of whatever I have on it to make sure it hasn't shifted. It needs to sit on a flat level surface overnight. This resin cures at temperatures between 75 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. It's in your best interest to cover it with a dust cover. All resins are different. You need to read the directions for the resin you are using. Hey everyone, here's my little Easter bunnies. I think they turned out real cute. And anyone who's been watching me knows that I've been trying to do just tape on the back and for the past month, and I did have some leaks down there, so I'm probably going to be going back to gluing and taping. It's just that sometimes, you know, you have an idea and you have your project and you're ready to go, and well, you have to seal it with glue and let it dry overnight, and you know, I get impatient. I want to get going. So anyway, that's why I started trying it with just the tape. I know some people do that. And when you do have a leak, the tape sticks. It's harder to get off, and I just need to get the glue. If you have a heat gun and go over it, it'll loosen it up more. So anyway, I think it turned out real cute. I guess I took some extra steps on this. So if you're using a regular coating resin, something that you would normally use on canvas, and you have a mold that's a matte mold, so there's two different types of molds. When you get a silicone mold and pour resin in it, if it's shiny, it'll come out shiny like this one did. If it's a matte finish, then your mold will come out not shiny with the matte finish. So of course you want it to be shiny, so you have to cover it with resin, and you can do that one of two ways. You can, when you're pouring for this, you can just pour it on top of it, or you can use UV resin like I did. And the only reason I used the UV resin was because I was going to use the Let's Resin, which is the casting resin, which you can't pour on top of molds or anything that's flat surfaces because it will leave fish eyes. And the only reason you can put it on the glass is because it's held in a reservoir and it can't, go over the sides or out. And if you put it on thick enough, it makes a nice coating and doesn't leave any fish eyes. But on this, it would leave fish eyes, so that's why I did the UV resin on it. So anyway, it turned out cute. The glass is from Hobby Lobby. The little flowers are from Hobby Lobby in the spring section, 40% off all their spring stuff. The butterflies that you see are real pretty, and I did not pour resin over them. I just stuck them in the resin because they would become more translucent, and they're kind of faint, some of the colors in them to begin with. So I decided to just set them on top of the resin. So anyway, all in all, I think it turned out pretty. And if you don't know how to do if you don't have a Cricut, you can print up your words in whatever font you want in Microsoft Word and tape it to the back, and then use your oil-based Sharpie markers and trace over it. And I tell you, it will look just as pretty. You have to go over it several times, but it really does look pretty. I've done it before, and I have a bee video out that shows you how to do it. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps the channel. If you enjoyed the channel, go ahead and subscribe. We have the Facebook page going, a group of amazing, talented people showing all their beautiful artwork, newbies who are learning. I'm still learning from it. I try to think of something new to do every week, and I tell you, the people that are on the Facebook group come up with such amazing ideas. It's really hard to think of something different that somebody else has not already done. So anyway, come join us there, and I hope you guys all have a great day. Thanks for watching.